donation, contact your local architect. Now stay tuned for Southland Today, followed by a double dose of Perry Mason at noon on 56 KDOC.
Welcome to Southland Today. We have a great show for you this morning. We'll take a look at the pepper spray controversy. Does it work and how do you get it? We'll also talk to a local musician about his artistry and a contest for a house that costs participants under $100. But first, Carol and Greedy of the program. Coming up next, a local architect who makes beautiful music, and you can own a home in Hollywood Hills for only $75. We'll tell you how. Welcome back. John Salat has over 20 years experience in the design and construction industry, but that's not why he's here today. John is also the composer of numerous soundscapes contained in his CD, Echoes of the Heart. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
How do you go from construction to music?
Well, it came across that I realized that, you know, in architecture there was sort of an aesthetic desire, because everybody wants to be a designer, and you go through the whole process of education, and you realize it's only about 3% for me that I felt satisfied that actually involved doing designing, because you learn so many other hats in high technology today. I mean, you're being a politician, you're being a scientist, you're being a researcher, you know, it's like a quasi-lawyer and politician, and, you know, planning. So it just seemed like, for me, it was too much of a mental thing more than an artistic thing. So when the industry kind of took a change and switched over, there was this desire for this aesthetical part of me to continue. So back in 1990, I bought a keyboard, which all I knew is that you just plug in the wall. You know, it's a master keyboard, for which later became the controller for our whole studio, which I expanded on. And out of that, I think it just, you know, it was kind of like a candy store. And I just started purchasing all this equipment. It's like, it's a whole new medium. It's a whole new medium of art. And so it just had such a dynamic experience for me.
Did it start off as a hobby and then has now kind of become an offshoot into a whole other arena for you?
Well, I think I'm taking it pretty seriously right now, because I've already produced the album, and it's already gone through the campaign, and right now I'm in the process of getting write-ups throughout the country. In fact, just recently, between last time we talked, I have a radio that does, I guess it's like a syndicate, does overseas international. They want to do a personal review on it, so it's getting a lot of response. So I'm excited. So I think that tells me I need to take it more seriously and keep moving with it. So I'm just kind of flowing with it right now.
Good. We're giving people an example of the music right now. They're listening to it in the background as we're talking. How do you get some, you know, for people at home that are kind of puttering around on their keyboards, you know, maybe you start like you would say, okay, I have enough now maybe to produce an album. How do I do it? I mean, you've mentioned that this is self-produced, correct? So, I mean, what do you do, or how do you get a major label interested in you, or how do you get airplay? How do you get people to take you seriously when you end up doing everything yourself?
Well, I think it just comes from desire and passion, and somehow the considerations. I mean, there's a lot of industries, like somebody said, would be an architect, I'd probably talk a lot of it. I've been involved in the industry a long time, but I think just sort of a freshness in being in the industry, there's sort of an innocence that I just tend to hold myself about, so I don't get really easily discouraged. But I think just having that compassion and interest keeps me going. So as far as it's the technical threshold and the business, you know, obstacles and things like that, I tend to overlook that. And I mean, there's a lot of challenges that people confront. Some people can make a real scientific project out of equipment and if they want. And to me, I think just exploring equipment itself is an art, because I get to take the production and interface that with the art. So everything's kind of integrated together, so nothing's really separate. That's what I like about music, is you can take the cutting edge of technology and the digital quality and do it right here in your home studio. So it's very personal, very intimate. I don't have to worry about going to a studio and clocking in time, and I can enjoy the window view from my, you know, the forest view from my home. So it's just a very personal, very intimate. So I think my music kind of displays that.
One of your influences in your music?
Well, that's interesting. I think adventure, excitement, relaxation. It's really about being in a moment. When I write, it's just, I just feel more in the moment. I'm not thinking about tomorrow, I'm not thinking about yesterday. And it's just a real, just being real centered, and it's just sort of a cleansing aspect for me. So by writing music, it's just taking a quality of life and taking a snapshot of that.
Your work is defined as New Age. Can you define New Age music for us?
I don't think anybody can define New Age. It's no musician wants to get pigeonholed. I'm just playing along with it because that's what it's going to get shelved, that's what it's going to get in a database, and it's going to show to the public that way. John does John, and Tesh does Tesh, and, Guitar does Guitar. So it works within a marketing system. I'm not too sure about the history of New Age, maybe because of the ambient music that started during the synthesis era, but I like to call it in the adult contemporary world. You can call it modern music. I mean, there's progressive, classical, and there's a lot of different things people call it music, but it's just convenient. If you know what they're calling it, it's an adult alternative music, those call it New Age. So it makes up about 8% of the market. It's just sort of a, it's sort of a modern version of experimental music in some cases, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's that avant-garde or that loses interest, but there's definitely a market there, and it's doing well.
Good. Hopefully people will call it enjoyable, ultimately. The CD, again, is called Echoes of the Heart. It is available through the CD listening bar in Irvine and San Juan Capistrano, so you can listen to it before you buy it if what we gave you today wasn't enough, and it's also available through New Age bookstores. You can probably order it through them. Thank you very much
thank you
for joining us today and discussing the music with us. Coming up next, win a house for $75. We'll tell you how. We are out of time. Thank you very much again on Southland Today.